Hi there, and welcome to Techopia Live. It is live, so if you're watching this, thank you very much for joining us right here on our Facebook page, or whether you're watching this on live stream. We are super excited, not only just because we are inside and it is freezing cold outside, but because once again we have a phenomenal slew of guests here with us, and we have our featured guest here, which is the CEO and co-founder of You.i, Jason Flick. Thank you so much for making it today. I know you've raced down here and you made it here with us. I know you're a very busy guy. And what I did is I also engaged with Amanda Gordon, which is the VP of HR Consulting with Stratford Managers. And Amanda has dealt with many, many companies and supporting them from an HR perspective. But we know that You.i has really set the standard in not only just creating a culture for the people that work there, but also just setting a standard and the type of people that you're looking for, how you try and combine working together and working for a purpose and moving forward together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Amanda kind of take the mic here for a second, kind of pose a question to you as we get a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of the HR.
Welcome today, Jason. So before we start deep in the HR, I'm actually really excited about your most recent move. So I think you guys are 3 weeks in now, if I'm right. I did a little bit of research. I heard 40,000 square feet, room for 300 employees, so that's a lot of growth, so congratulations. I interviewed you last year and you talked about your passion on art and technology and being creative. So I wanted to hear how you brought that into your new space.
It's a great question. Yeah, so it's still all fairly new. Still a few little things being finished off here and there, of course. But yeah, it was a very consultative process. If you look at, it wasn't that long ago. It was like, is the furniture included, right? And at our last space, we renovated one of the pieces, but then really we expanded so quickly, we just took what was there. This is our first time where the whole space is kind of built to be ours, and so really a lot of consulting with the staff, weaving art and science into it. So, for example, it's a very open concept, but we like wall space because we're very creative. We're putting up our diagrams, our designs, so mixing that and having some casual areas, but also we work hard too, right? So you need a cubicle. We can't go totally virtual. You need devices, you need a desk, you need 3 screens, but sometimes you want to go sit in a hammock or sit in the library or a quiet area. So we've got some good diverse areas and kind of an open feeling to it. And I think going through it with the people was the big thing. So transparency and taking them with us. So yeah, it's good. Again, 3 weeks in, so far everything's working well, but we'll adapt as we need to as well.
So are you still making the coffee?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, so yes, it wasn't long ago. We have a kitchen now, and if the last pot's empty, I don't have to make coffee anymore. That's a big upgrade, for sure, yes.
And my last question is, what is your employee count today? And what are you doing to attract top talent?
Yeah, I mean, the competition gets higher and higher here in Canada now with all the big tier ones realizing us to our own benefit. They realize it's a great city. So we do a lot of things. Word of mouth is still a big part. I think 60-70% of our hires are through word of mouth, so people that want to work there. We did we won, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, we won Aon Hewitt's Platinum Best Employer, which is just great, but we also do it to learn about our staff. We go through the process and learn. So I think being a great place to work, winning awards helps. And bringing them into what we're doing, because I think how we do things is quite different. You can make a difference. You can go home and tell people what you do, right? Most of people in a lot of tech companies are doing a piece of a piece of a piece. We're doing stuff. We're shipping tier 1 apps for media companies. So I think that helps too, right? We have that on our side. And we're around 200 people. We stayed around that. Big focus for us has been on growth of our ARR instead of just our top line revenue. So, yeah.
Thank you, Amanda. Those are some great questions. And once again, that just speaks to what your company stands for and what you're trying to, you're always trying to move the needle, whether it be from an HR perspective or whether it be in business. So 2017 has been, I think, a really stellar year for You.i. And I mean, the company's been on a growth spurt for quite some time, but I think this has been a great year for you. How can you speak a little bit towards, what's happened this year for You.i? Some obviously wins that you've had, but maybe looking into 2018 and maybe what you'd like to achieve moving forward.
Wow, do we have an hour? Especially when you're talking 2018. So I mean, yeah, 2017 was great. We entered the year for the first time with real strategic capital. So Time Warner invested in us along with our current investors, Kane, which was huge. So that helped a lot. We had a 50, 60 person product team that have been delivering product. So that was big. We closed some of the biggest sporting brands out there. CFL we got as well, but we which is awesome. We love the app. If you guys take a look at the 3D game tracker, there's gorgeous. But we've also closed a number of others big tier 1 sporting brands. And we've continued to grow. Our big focus now in ARR, so 7x ARR the previous year, 5x last year, and we'll 2 or 3x this year. So headcounts continue to kind of stay around 200, but really focusing on that scaling, right? That's why you raise capital. You find a market, you work on it, and then you scale it. And we're definitely in the scale stage. We've made lots of changes in terms of how we structure the company from an HR point of view, from a reporting point of view, keeping it flat, but still bringing in people that have been there, right? We're 20 some million in revenue. We want to get to 100 million in revenue. That's one of those major inflection points that I always talk about along the way, and that's one where you need different people. So certainly have that, and now 2018, I think really executing on it, staying focused on what we want to do, going after the biggest brands in the world. We tried last year going, kind of down market a bit. We really want to build the best and give the best tools to the best companies in the world. And so really refocusing kind of at that tier 1 and maybe even going above to some of the bigger companies like the operators and the cable companies. So it's really about focus on that to get success there.
Now, I think you're in these discussions on a consistent basis, and you must see the evolution of us TV as we know it over the last several years, and you've been really part of that evolution as well. How much do you see things changing even more and more? I mean, you have strategic partners with, for example, like Turner is one of those as well that you've had strategic partners with that's creating so many apps. And as you said before, TV really has become apps in general. So maybe you can, I'd like to hear your point of view of where TV is now and where do you see it just evolving to?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we have this transformative tech. We chose 3.5, 4 years ago to focus just on TV. That turned out to be a really great bet. Netflix continues to do well. Almost every major tech company and media company has doubled down on this, right? And it's now about apps. It used to be you would just sit back, you'd have a huge legal team and you'd license your stuff to a Comcast, to all the different infrastructure. Now you can go direct to consumer. So they're all doubling down on it. Facebook's getting into it, Google's getting into it, Amazon, Netflix. So it's a great time to be in that space, and it's scary because it's a change in market, right? So it turns out to be a very good market for us to focus on. It's going to be even more dicey. I think it was last week, YouTube just pulled their app off of Amazon. Like, holy crap. Like, how many dollars are at stake for these giants to do these kind of moves, right? AT&T buying Time Warner, Fox buying Disney. I mean, the amount of money exchanging hands here, amazing. So that's worked out really well. I think that's an exciting thing. It's good for consumers. You're going to get your content where you want it, when you want it, how you want it, and in many more unique ways. And our tool really lets them innovate a lot more as well.
I'll ask one more question. Now, you're very much in the TV space, but obviously, once again, it's a clear example of how an industry had to adapt to its consumers and, just the user interface in general. I mean, how do you think this just general approach to TV in general kind of applies to other industries as well? I mean, taking the consumer in consideration, and do you feel like the consumer in general is just playing more of a role and having that specific targeted content that needs to come their way just plays a bigger role more than ever?
Yeah, I mean, to me, so our vision for the company, we're quite open, it's own the glass, right? We want to own every surface that's out there. We're starting with TV. We're helping the biggest media companies on the planet to own all the glass surfaces. And there's about 18 platforms today that are out there. It's all the gaming consoles, all the pucks, the TV pucks, the smart TVs, your phones. Google's working on a new OS. It's getting more and more fragmented. So we want to help them own the glass. And what that means is all kinds of innovation now. So we're delivering it now so you can get it where you want and when you want it. But now we're working on things. How do you do it in a more creative way? Does anybody like the 30-second ad? No. Why does it still exist 60 years later? Because the only thing you can do consistently anywhere is play a 30-second ad. But because our value prop is identical code base everywhere, we can do anything identically anywhere. So these are some of the new areas we're pushing into, and you'll see some of that in 2018. We just launched the new business unit to go after this area, working with Turner Ad Labs, working with some of our major vendors to reinvent what ads are so they can be of higher value, so you have to see less of them. They can be more engaging. So some of those are some of the new things we're doing. TV is going to drive us into other areas too, for sure. Nobody likes the interface in their car. Internet of Things devices, most of them aren't that great. We want to change the relationship people have with technology and just make it awesome everywhere.
Wow, it's pretty spectacular. Well, thank you very much for those of you that joined us today. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us and giving us a little just insight in what's to come for UI. Thank you so much for joining me, Amanda. I really appreciate that. It's so wonderful to have another professional like you also join us and having this conversation. And we wish you all the best for this amazing year to come. But we're so proud that you are Ottawa, and we're so proud that you're Canadian, and we look forward to you owning the glass everywhere. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you later.